you and the rest of the NBCU team and Linda have been really big advocates in using technology and data to affect positive business outcomes for clients. And we have been at the forefront of that with you on some business outcome-based deals. And now, the world is changing. Consumer behavior is changing. Media consumption is changing. And driving business outcomes, especially as we move into an economy that's quite shaky, is more important and more front and center than ever before.
Absolutely.
And, how is NBCU now trying to move that ball further and trying to be the gold standard within the industry, where marketers are now just turning over dollars to you for impressions, but we're turning dollars over to you to affect business outcomes? And how are you putting skin in the game to help marketers do that?
So your team at Horizon really leaned into business outcomes early on, and whether it was the D2C team or the traditional team, trying to figure out how do we measure business results and impact to clients versus impressions. And for some clients, that meant traffic in stores, traffic online, subscriptions, all different kinds of business outcomes. And so we worked together to say, what kind of measurement can we use to work together to measure business outcomes? We know that we have a huge ecosystem at NBCUniversal, everything from linear to streaming to also helping our clients push their message using some of our international property, commercial innovation through social, digital, linear, all different places. So why measure just straight impressions for linear, or trying to cobble together different ways to measure different screens? Come up and work on how do we measure business outcome guarantees. So we got together with our teams, your team, engineers who are figuring out what is the best algorithm to measure the success. And we work together, and it's, really, I think, an interesting journey. We've gotten in this early before. Like you said, it's now more important than ever. And we are really invested in continuing to help our clients measure what's important most to them.
Yeah. So utopia for me is one day when 100%, I want to jump right into the deep end of the pool.
Okay, go
where
ahead.
100% of my dollars are based on business outcomes, and that we pay our partners based on that. Do you think we'll ever get there with a company like NBCU?
We are absolutely investing in that. We know that we can deliver on that. We've tested it, and we're seeing that, again, because we have such scale and impact with brands that consumers lean into. And research shows that when you have content that consumers love and they trust, they lean into a marketer's product as well. That translates to sales results all through the purchase funnel. So again, every marketer, a lot of it has to do with our marketers willing to share their sales research. And we found a lot of D2C companies, they're looking at business outcome as how they measure from the beginning. It's built into their system. FANG companies as well. And we're seeing much more investment from those companies. And so we know that what we have works. And so we are willing to give a business outcome guarantee to marketers and break legacy from traditional, age, gender, impression guarantees and moving to business outcome. And so we'd love to jump into that deep end of the pool with you and others and really get to that, utopia, as you said.
Yeah, I love that, Laura, because you guys have been on the forefront. And I think we both need to go much deeper in the data and technologies there today to take us there. And I think that's going to be a breath of fresh air for marketers, because right now, we are in an economy that's suffering. And obviously the media marketplace is suffering a little bit right now. So, there's been lots of talk about all these options that are being taken in Q3. So I'm going to ask you a fact or fiction question. A lot of options are being taken in Q3. Marketplace is soft from a lot of articles out there. Some are true, some aren't true, about the decline of dollars in the marketplace. And all those marketers that place time in the upfront are now wondering, should they be taking their options and rebooking their media because they can get it at a lower price right now? And what's your viewpoint on that? How do marketers who committed up front, who are there 52 weeks a year, now feel they're suffering a little bit because they committed early and the floor is dropping? Help me understand the dynamics around that.
So, let me start with the fact that the floor right now isn't dropping. We are actually so encouraged by the second quarter scatter market. What we've seen over the past several weeks, particularly as we led up to the holiday weekend of Memorial Day and now heading into the summer, is much higher scatter than ever before. And so we're encouraged by that because marketers know that they have to market their way out of this to really get their companies back on track. And so the upfront is one way to secure inventory at what typically is a more efficient price in the scatter market, and get the inventory that you want in the time periods that you want and hold on to that. And we're hearing from marketers that they're still very interested in, the upfront market. Timing may be different for everyone. I mean, every year the upfront market timing is different. It was moving faster and faster each year before, July 4th. And now, yes, it's at a different pace, but marketers are leaning in. And so if you are looking to secure inventory to get your message out there, particularly in certain time frames, the upfront is the way to go.
So let me unpack that a little bit. You're feeling scatter is strong. So it's fiction that people are getting lower prices right now than in the upfront, at least from NBCU's perspective. And I look forward to seeing the earnings report come out to see your ad revenue up in Q2, if that's the case. But there's a lot of swirl out there right now that maybe that might not be true with some of your competitors. So I guess,
second quarter is made up of many months: April, May and June. And like I said, I think that things have changed since the beginning, when many marketers were unsure of what was happening, unsure of their company's earnings. Businesses were closing. Now businesses are opening. And again, the reason why advertising has been so successful for companies like yours and adding marketers to your list and seeing new marketers like the D2C companies is because it does work. And so it's really being able to activate media to the greatest potential. And so using optimization to reach audiences, whether it's an age gender, which we can do cross-platform, linear or digital or combination, or targeted audiences. So we're doing all of that, again, to help marketers get the best, most effective plan, and working with your teams who see, the Horizon team really, again, has been ahead of the curve on a lot of this in terms of looking at optimizing media buys, measuring impact versus impressions, and not afraid to do it across all screens, because audience fragmentation, is going to continue. So yes, there will be less television, linear traditional impressions, and it's finding ways to reach consumers across all screens most effectively, and helping marketers do that.
And I think NBCU is set up pretty strong from a cross-platform perspective.